Americans are hearing a new anguished call this morning for action on guns. It's an appeal filled with grief and anger over the school shooting yesterday that has left at least 19 children dead.
It's a time to turn this pain into action. For every parent, for every citizen in this country, we have to make it clear to every elected official in this country, it's time to act. It's time for those who obstruct or delay or block the common sense gun laws. We need to let you know that we will not forget. I am sick and tired of it. We have to act. And don't tell me we can't have an impact on this carnage.
This time, every American parent's nightmare is happening in a Texas town. For distraught families, the first moments of shock and horror over the shooting became a soul-wrenching wait at the town civic center to find out if their child is among the victims. Some even gave DNA swabs to help identify the bodies.
We can't get anything as little as they're okay, they're not okay.
Look for my daughter. I mean, after the shooting, they don't know where she's at. I mean, the list, her name is not here.
His daughter is 10-year-old Annabelle Rodriguez, and he now knows she is confirmed among the dead. Another young victim being identified this morning is 8-year-old Uzziah Garcia. One of the two adults killed is grade 4 teacher Eva Morales. Her family is remembering her as an adventurous, loving mother and wife, a teacher for 17 years. CNN reporter Mike Valerio is in Uvalde, and he tells us this morning that all of the victims have now been identified.
We saw the heart-wrenching images yesterday of parents lining up one by one just a few kilometers away from where we're standing, giving DNA evidence because the bodies of the children and the teachers involved, or the casualties of this massacre, were so difficult to identify. The DNA evidence, or DNA, was the only way to make those positive identifications. So law enforcement saying that the wait, the excruciating hours of not knowing is over, and a new phase is what we will all enter here, learning the stories of these children. For example, we just have new confirmation within the past hour, 10-year-old Xavier Lopez. One of the more heart-wrenching stories that we're hearing, he was at his honor roll ceremony, according to the Washington Post here in the States, seen by his mother. She was so proud, took a photograph of him, put it on Facebook with him holding his certificate, and that would be the last time that she would see him alive. We also have information about a teacher of 17 years, Eva Morales, who was a 4th grade teacher, one of the 2 teachers killed in this massacre, and the final public confirmation of a victim that we have, Amory Jo Garcia. And you see these posts that are on Facebook yesterday that her father put up of not hearing from her, not hearing from any of her best friends over the course of 7 hours, and him putting a broken heart emoji at the end of his post, hoping for the best, hoping for a miracle that would never come true for him.
Mike, at the same time, we're starting to learn more about the suspect here, an 18-year-old from the community. He was killed during the attack. There is a profile emerging of him. So what are the details that we have on that in the investigation?
Well, I mean, the details, Heather, of this suspect seem to be fitting in the usual portrait of these mass shooters in America. This is somebody who shot his grandmother before this attack on Robb Elementary. And what law enforcement are trying to figure out is if it was his intent after he shot his grandmother, putting her in critical condition, if it was his direct intent to attack the school, or if that was some horrifying permutation of the act of depravity that he engaged in yesterday afternoon local time. We also have been able to look at some of his social media posts with him sharing images of 2 AR assault rifles, and new reporting into CNN over the past couple hours that on his birthday last week, when we were all engaged with the tragedy at Buffalo, he turned 18 and he was able to legally purchase these weapons of war, and that's exactly what he did early last week as we were all engaged in that tragedy. He apparently knew that he was about to engage in some act of depraved violence only days later.